All right, so let me ask you this. Everybody here to learn about how to grow a team? Is that what we're here for, right? How to build a team?
Yeah.
Very, very
Oh
good.
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do it, man.
We're here.
So-
We're here to be like Shawn.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. We're gonna be like Dan Mitchell soon. Dan
Yeah.
sold,
Okay.
sold his house with an indoor pool.
Yeah.
Haven't had many of those. Sure, in the office lately. Has everybody heard of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book? Referred to as the Red Book or MREA book. Yeah. All right, so this is gonna be a very long class, and so you want to read that book, and that's how you grow a team. All right. Any questions? No.
That's like, goodbye.
Bye. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to overcomplicate this. I'm going to give you a brief overview, kind of an organizational chart on how to grow a team. Basically, the main key being leverage, and then two, we're going to look at the economic model. Does anybody know how many models are in the Red Book? We always say, we're a company built the models and systems. Does anybody know what the 4 models are in there? No?
Lead generation, economic. I forget the other 2.
We'll see.
Right? Organizational
Organizational. Yeah.
and how you spend your money. Budget. All right? Has everybody mastered
That's
all
why.
4 of these?
That's why I couldn't remember the budget one, because I'm not very good at it.
That's why you need your wife. She needs to keep the leash on your wallet.
100%.
All right, so here's the models: economic model, lead generation model, budget model, and organizational model. Brief description of all 4 of those. Economic model: how much money do you want to make? What's your average sales price? How many units or properties or buyers and sellers you have to sell, represent? And what's your average commission? And what's that everything comes down to numbers. If you want to make 250,000, we can tell you based on your average sales price how many units you have to sell. If you want to make $1 million, we can tell you how many units you have to sell. If everybody everybody can look. Let me see if I make it. See that poster there on the wall? If nobody ever knew what those numbers stand for, that is basically the economic model to make $1 million in real estate. Cool. Get it? Got it? Good. All right, we're going to go over those a little bit. I'm sorry. Lead generation model, pretty self-explanatory, right? Where do you get your leads from? We usually tell people pick 3, maybe 4 sources of leads, or how your business is going to come in. Focus on them at a high level, or even start with 2. Focus on a high level, right? And then master 2 more. Budget model, pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have a P&L for your business, then you don't really have a business, right? Be amazed how many people have no idea how much money they spend, how much money they make, what percentage of ROI they make on their leads. And I'm talking about big teams. I sat with a team one time, and he did $75 million in Delaware in 2018. When we did his P&L, he had his flips. He put his flips in there the night before his investment business in his real estate team P&L, because if he didn't, he would have been losing money every year. He would have literally been losing money every year on his real estate business. And unless you want to do it to look cool, which is fine if that's what the value proposition is for you, but after a while that would be tiring. So make sure you know what you're spending. Organizational model, very simple. If you are just a single agent, which is nothing wrong with that, if you're a single agent, you are the whole organizational model. And Christine's got a slide, I think we can show you. Actually, let's start with the next slide. It's economic or yeah. If you want to take a snapshot of this, we have an Excel spreadsheet exactly like this. I don't know if this is exactly how it looks in the Red Book, but basically it's very simple. How much want to make? MREA, it's a millionaire real estate agent. I'm going to see if we can. I'm probably going to coincidentally ask Christine if she can help me make the Excel spreadsheet, since I probably can't find the one we had. But this is a great thing to have. If we have an Excel spreadsheet, we'll say it to you guys eventually. It's not hard to make. but it's a good way to do your goals. Because if you put in that top number and the Excel spreadsheet is formulated right, you can actually put in your income and everything else and calculate from there.
There's a way to do it in commands now too.
There is? Okay, that's what I figured.
When you set your goals for the year.
Right, am I blocking you?
Yeah.
I'll just go over real quick. So net income is after your expenses, right? So yes.
Yeah.
Operating expenses, how much money does it cost for you to, the operating expenses is what you pay people, what you pay for internet or technology, what you pay for leads if you're buying any, what you pay for your salaries. Cost of sales, who knows what that is?
I'll show you the transaction costs.
It's actually what you pay your agents on the team. So an example, our cost of sales for the market center is the 70% we pay you guys.
Would the transaction, like paying for like a transaction coordinator and your marketing and stuff fall under operating expenses?
Yes. Cost of sales is only what you're paying your agents or paying, you know, like a showing agent, or if you pay a percentage to your ISA, anybody you would pay a percentage of the commission to. Referral fees.
Paying your admin on a transaction basis, fall under the costs.
If it's
Coming out.
it can if you want, honestly, really, unless if it's a percent. So let's say you get, just for example, for E to Z, you get 70% of your commission. If you're anything less, that 70% is your cost of sales, wherever it goes. So like if you pay $225 per transaction, let's just say, and then you pay, you know, 2% or something, or 10% to an ISA, an admin, or whoever, virtual admin, that 10% or 2% will come off cost of sales. Basically, the only thing that come out of cost of sales is really percentage you're paying to normally your agents or some sort of bonus or referral. Yeah. Honestly, I usually use cost of money in my flips. So cost of money, how much does it cost me to borrow money or use money? But yeah, that's what cost of sales is. Everything else goes into operating expenses. So if you're at a point where you just have administrative staff, but you don't pay any agents to do anything as far as buyers agents, listing agents, showing agents, you should have a cost of sales. Well, I mean, you actually you could put cost of sales is what you pay the market center. You could put that in there. Total GCI, obviously, everybody knows GCI means gross commission income, right? If you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask. Average commission, you know, the 7150. What's the average sales price? Or GCI, I guess 350 units. What's that? Yeah, it's basically take the 2.5 million. 2.5 million divided by 350 units. Great. Oh, it's GCI. No, it's GCI. That's not. Oh, it doesn't say. I have a feeling this is a little higher than our sales price.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, right. So I mean, let's just say 200,000. I don't know what everybody sales. 2.75% is 5,500. So basically, you know what I'm saying. You'd have in this example would not be to our area unless you're bringing team 100%, and then you want to if not, you want to up the units. That's why when we can make this an Excel spreadsheet, it'll be really good to play with. This is how we did everybody's business plans in the beginning before we did them on E-Edge, I think.
I have it on.
You do,
I have
right?
it on.
Okay. Do okay. Did you make it,
No, I.
or do we get? Do we
Somewhere.
give it? Yeah, maybe you can go back. You can
Yeah,
share it back with me. Because I
have
know
it on there.
when Wagner, he actually, I showed it. We made it when he was around, and then I don't know where it went. It was back with the KW forms somewhere. My laptop like 2 times. Does anybody have any questions about this? I mean, basically, you know, they're picking 50% sell sides, 50% buy sides. That's statistically how people end up, you know, shaking out. If anybody's been in the business a really long time, I don't know if you've ever noticed that if you take 30 listings, you seem to have around 30 buy sides. just what it is. It's this crazy thing in the universe. Unless you're just not working your buyers at all, then you might not. Right? How's everybody doing with listings?
Good, I just put one up an hour ago.
Oh, good. What is it?
Is the one in Sutton Woods?
Yeah, Sutton Woods. 699, 7 Carrot Court.
There, you got a buyer.
Do I?
Put it under contract.
That's good. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Have a pool?
It does. It's got a huge swimming pool. 22 by 46.
Right, I met with the buyers last night.
Did everybody see the
Thank you.
70% agreement to close? They're basically, you know, that's basically saying that 70% of your contracts are going to close. You know, I don't know if they're making like a fallout ratio. I usually figure about 20% fallout ratio. Yeah, if we have 10 under contract.
That could be 90%.
Well, I was gonna say, in this market, the last year and a half, it seems like you have to sell everything twice, every listing twice, right? It's, and then they have 75% appointment to agreements. You see how you can really track your numbers. You could really break it down to a science as far as numbers. This business is just numbers. It's relationship and numbers. Huh?
We're not numbers people.
No, I know. And that's why you need something like this to plug it in, and then all you do is basically update your, you know, your conversion rates and stuff like that. So basically saying 75% of your appointments is coming to agreement. So if you're doing, you know, 10 buyers consultations, they're saying 7.5 buyer are going to go to a contract. Follow? Although right now we're probably at 100%. They want to buy, they can get approved, they're probably buying. What else is in here? Buyer representation agreements needed. Look at this, 500. It's actually 500. 250 listing agreements needed. 250 buy-side agreements needed. Maybe you have any questions? Because this could really be like a 10-part class growing a team. But I'm just going to kind of touch on these two models. The budget model we can touch on a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a brief overview. We're gonna go to the org chart. If anybody has any questions on this, we will come back to it. You have the org chart. You don't have the actual org chart.
No.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to find it.
yes. Are you're my computer? Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna try to find it. Can I do this one? Fine. Give us a sec. I want to see if we can find like a good org chart. What's up, bud? You all right? Living the dream? There we go. Let's see. Like this, maybe? Yeah, I mean, but there should be a 7th level. Here, how about this? 7th level. 7th level. Level. Yeah, that's it. You got it? There we go. And I know you've all seen the stuff I'm going to show you because you've all read the red book, right? So yes, yeah. Les, have you read it? Yeah. What do you think? Twice? Good. I know they've been working on a MRA 2. Exactly. Well, I mean, what I'm going to show you now is just the organizational chart. So actually, it could be, it's pretty simple. Level 1, you. Level 2 is 2 people. But it's kind of like you grow with it. What do you think about the lead generation, the like lead generation part, the organizational lead generation model, I should say? You said you read it twice because I haven't read it in about a year. What do you, what did you get out of that part?
Try to phrase it, be more specific, but actually one man.
See, awesome.
Like me, that's my Bible, that's something.
See that? This is Bible for real estate. You can give me real Bible, but for real estate.
Yeah. I have hard to articulate it. I feel like, but for myself, my first hire is going to be admin, like it tells you,
Right.
part of her job, will be taking on a lot of it, not only the administrative, but like some of the real estate agent. So we also do it for my visa.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Matt, where do you get most of your business from? Or do you what's like two sources of business? And you don't have to give us specifics or
I mean,
just
I have a website that mostly referral business from past
referral
clients. I
business,
have a
past
website
client.
that I'm partnering with.
Gotcha. You have a website partnership.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are those your referrals and past clients, and then your website and a partnership? Are those your two main sources? Also.
Yeah.
How about you, Anne Marie?
Yeah, referrals, my network, and the other ways, I have committees I'm on.
Awesome.
I'm on, church committee, political committee, 501c.
Awesome.
So
So
again, for those ones.
the committees, past clients, referrals, committees. How about you, Les?
So I do a lot with command.
Right.
I do have, not to use a four-letter word in the office, but I do use it low. And I'm finding that still.
Right.
Referrals are something that is starting now. I've been in business for a little bit.
Right.
Years. I think some people are starting to be business.
Good.
That hasn't happened a ton, but 4 or 5 leads. And circle prospecting is what I did. I did good.
Prospect around like the listing, you mean, or neighborhood?
Neighborhoods. So like I work primarily down in Lower Township. That's where I'm focused. So I pick up the phone and start calling, like streets.
Gotcha.
That's a big thing to do. When a property sells, I'll call the area, help enough listings in here.
Right.
I'll do data that we need.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's what normally they say in the beginning. Your first 3 years in real estate, 80% of your business will be new. Maybe 10, 20% will be past sphere or referral. 5 years in, if you're doing it right, it should be the opposite way. 80% referral, past client, and then 20% new. Yeah. Right.
I have been.
But if you notice, like everybody, I asked a bunch of people on the call on the Zoom, well, number one, I was past clients, referrals, sphere is usually the biggest one of people's, where they get their business from. Everybody usually has 2 or 3 places that they focus on, and they're not doing it probably because they read the book. They're doing it because that's the way that people naturally go. So, when there's a lot of shiny objects out there, and I'm not against, well, I am against Zillow, but I'm not, if it works somebody's business, I'm not against it. So if you can buy leads, go for it. We don't really encourage it from anywhere. But what if you're ever gonna do, focus on 1 or 2 areas to get business from and hit it at a high level. You could buy 5 different website systems and then never really do any of them at a high level.
Problem with Zillow though, so if you're only gonna get higher things.
Yeah.
All
No,
my listings, which I have 7, they all come from circle or it's,
exactly.
and that's gonna be the way to split your business anyways.
No, you're exactly right. No, I haven't found a internet purchased lead of sellers at a high level ever. I've had a lot of companies say they'll get them, they just don't. So he's right. Past clients, referrals, circle calls, expireds, FISBOs, picking up the phone, meeting people over the phone, or meeting them face to face is how you're gonna get listings. That's the truth. Relationship business on that end. Okay, cool. Everybody see this now? First level, second level? Is anybody hiring an admin or in the middle of hiring an admin or already have an admin? Yeah, good. How's it going?
So I've already identified who did, they should go to school, get a license. Just because I want to people not breaking the law.
Right.
Then hopefully by June, work.
Right, gotcha. Gotcha. You gonna use like the career visioning process at all,
So
the KPA, disc, anything like that?
I'm gonna be doing the PW program that helps people for real estate.
Monica Reynolds. Yeah,
uh,
to train your admin, perfect administrative.
Yeah, I will do that at the of my master's.
Oh, good. Good. There's an interview, there's like an interview and hiring and training process called career visioning. If you guys need help with it, if anybody needs help with it, please let us know. Me, Tom, Steph. Again, read the red book. This is all in there. It's not going to guarantee you're going to make the perfect hire the first time. However, it'll probably increase the chances of it. Is everybody taking the KPA? You taking the KPA? No, you took it. Matt, you took it, right? You took it.
That's how I got my job.
That's how you got it, right? Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're right. That's right.
Career visioning and the 36.
Cool. Did you the class? Yeah. Oh, that's good. Everybody heard this. There's career visioning, and then that career visioning is basically the hiring process for that Carol Williams has developed and has available to you guys. And then 30/60/90, like Matt was saying, is the training slash we'll say probation period, I guess you'd say. Basically, you depending on the job, administrative assistant, like level 2 says, there's actually a first 100 days step-by-step process of what administrative assistants should do on a real estate team. It's in kw.com, and then you can break it down. The first 30 days they should have mastered this, 60 days you should have mastered this, and 90 days you should have mastered this. You can also make their increase in pay if you want based off that. But what I will tell you is Olga's on. I was just gonna say, I just saw it. I saw your face, babe. As soon as I said, I was thinking, your first hire could be your best. You could be your make or break. It could be your empire builder, and be your partner for life. Coincidentally, Olga is my partner for life. So, but I've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of administrative assistants. She's not on, right? What I'll say is I've made a lot of bad hires. I couldn't even count how many agents on a team. I don't know, it's like 10, 15. But if you want to try to use some sort of process, use some sort of interviewing process, career visioning works, it's good. The KPA, the disc, not just that, but there's, it has you dig 2 layers deep into references. So if they give you one reference, you're asking what that reference for a referral reference. Having worked at Tropicana as the hiring person for 5 years for the slot department, I think I hired 300 people. We probably let go 50, 75. So that multi-billion-dollar company had no process besides for make sure they can pass a drug test and they don't have a criminal background. That's basically it. Make sure they have a heartbeat and they're not going to steal nothing. And then I came to Keller Williams and they had this whole process for hiring. I was like, that's amazing. So read the red book, follow a process to make a hire. Trust me. It's not going to guarantee you're not going to make the wrong hire, but it will help lower the chances. And yes, Olga is what was our empire builder, that first hire. She's a rock star. And if you need help training them, she probably won't say she's able to train them, but we can at least give you some paperwork and some stuff to help him or her make their road a little bit easier. And Olga has been having classes too, so once in a while she'll have administrative admin class. Level 3, what do we got? What do you think? 2 admins? Yeah? So yes? What do you think about that? Why does everybody try to reinvent the wheel? Everybody tries to, not say everybody, a lot of people I've noticed, they try to reinvent the wheel a different way. And I was the same person. I always hired an agent on my team. I gave them a bunch of buyers and then they quit because we didn't have everybody to process them. They didn't have time to process them and they couldn't make enough money, right? It wasn't until I finally said, all right, I'm gonna make the leap of faith. I'll hire somebody and actually pay somebody and actually follow this thing called the Red Book, right? Because I'm not gonna pretend to be the smart guy. I just followed somebody else's lead. We have a great R&D department. It's called the Rip Off and Duplicate. So don't be ashamed. You can rip off and duplicate my stuff, team stuff, KW Red Book stuff. do it. Don't reinvent the wheel, it's already there. Level 4. Buyer specialist. So anybody, I mean, I don't know if anybody has anybody else on their team, but me personally, they're coming up with an MREA too. And some teams, and I'm not sure if Gary Keller says it or not, I don't keep agents in one buyer or seller position anymore. Just an agent on the team. They can do buyers or sellers. When we had a high amount of leads from roto.com and if we did command at a high level, which for the command social media ads, if you had a lot of buyer leads come in, they might generally do more buyer leads. But to me, you're kind of, I don't know, kind of telling somebody you can't do listings. I get all the listings and you get all the buyers. It kind of disenfranchises people, I think. Just let them do whatever you got. You got a seller, give it to them. You got a buyer, give it to them. The point is to leverage your time anyway. Buyer specialist, seller specialist, buyers. 3 admins. What do you think the admins are doing at this point? You got 3 different admins. And this is where there's another one that breaks it down a little bit more specifically. Any idea what the 3 admins would do? We just all do admin stuff.
Strictly transaction, just do the process.
Right, transaction coordinator.
Listing manager,
Listing manager, yes.
contracts.
Right. Mark?
Yeah.
Exactly, right. Right. So one contract to close, processing, contract to close, definitely. That's one person, definitely. And how many transactions they have. Like if that economic chart is 350 deals, 350 units. One contract to close person might not be able to handle that. So you might have like one doing 40 hours a week contract to close at 350 transactions, and maybe one you have them doing 20 hours a week for the other, let's say 150 transactions. Or if you're older, you just do 350. And then maybe that one doing 150 transactions is also the listing manager, like you were saying. Maybe you have 1 or 1.5 contract to close, the other half being listing management. And then, really, like you said, marketing, technology, everything else, I'll say, tracking lock boxes. Yeah, lead gen too. There'll be an example, I think, at some point on here, and we'll see. There might be an ISA or an OSA, somebody making just calls, which we'll get into too, because I think that's really important for anybody at any level. Really could be utilizing something like that. But yeah, I would say technology, marketing, and kind of everything in between. Checking emails, checking voicemails. If you're selling 350 units a year, you're getting calls. Your phone's blowing up. You don't have time to check your voicemails. Your email's full. You probably never even check your emails like Matt Fedek or most of the time me. Yeah, there's a lot in between. Level 6 is the same thing, really, right?
Administrative manager.
Oh, the admin manager. Yep. Administrative manager or operations manager. Operations manager is probably. To me, I would say at some point, now it's on here, I've seen it on other organizational. Okay, listen, there is different organizational charts. This is the one that I think was originally in the Red Book. They've put out new organizational charts to include ISAs, OSAs, sales manager to oversee the sales team, and then the operations manager or administrative manager to oversee the administrative side. We always refer to as kind of the operations manager. It's kind of like overall everything really. Has anybody had any experience with working with ISAs or OSAs or somebody making phone calls for you?
I did like maybe 2 years ago. I had like something that didn't go very well.
No, yeah, it
was okay, but
tough.
I think I'd rather do the admin stuff and be
Sure.
the one making the contacts.
You making the contacts. Well, you're doing phenomenal. How many closings did you have last month?
No.
That's a good problem to have.
We had like
There was 1 month. Matt had more closings in 1 month than my entire team did. It's not like that every month, but I mean, but seriously, Matt, I think I had 11 or 12 closings in December or January. And we had like one shy of what he did by himself. Now he has an administrative team that helps him, but yeah, not saying much for us that month. But that's saying a lot for Matt. So that's obviously you're doing good on the phones because you get a lot of business. That's good.
But that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
about hiring another admin, so I have more.
Sure.
time. That's where I'm
Point of it.
slacking right now. is the beginner.
Right.
Making those contacts, I'm like, I got
Other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
The virtual, did you check out the virtual people?
I'm like, yeah, I'm working on
Yeah.
the job description.
Okay. There's a lot of other stuff, isn't there?
Yes.
That's what it is. Just a lot of other stuff. It's that 80% that you really don't need to focus on. But if you're right, if you can write down like something my coach had us do years ago is just write a chart, like whatever time you start working. So if it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, write blocks of 15 minutes or 30 minutes at max. And every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, write down what exactly you're doing. Like literally, what are you doing? Are you on Facebook on your phone? Are you eating lunch? Are you at the coffee machine? Like anything you're doing, and then go at the end of the day, or if you're willing to do it for a week, into the week, figure out the 80% of the stuff that you did not need to be doing, and then put it on a job description for somebody else to do. That's really what it is. It's that 80% of stuff that just comes up or gets in the way. Like me hitting the tasty cake machine now. Friggin', you see those? Do you get to try those Reese peanut butter cupcakes? They're friggin' great. You gotta try them.
I've got a question in terms of salaried folks that you hire.
You okay? Say that again, James. I'm sorry.
In terms of the salaried folks that you hire, like the admins, how does that technically work? Do they, like who does their payroll or the taxes and all that stuff? Like,
So
If
if
you're
you were to hire, yeah, it's a good question, James. It is. It's actually something a lot of people don't realize, but understand when you finally comprehend that you are actually your own business. So James worked, under the broker of Keller Williams, because legally you have to work under a broker, but you actually your own business. You're an independent contractor, so you can actually grow your own business within our walls. And you would then, if you needed a virtual assistant or an in-person assistant, or if you wanted to hire an administrative company, you would pay those expenses. So just to give you an idea, like my team, we have for payroll, we use paychecks. There's other ADP is another payroll company.
yeah,
ADP, yeah. ADP and Paychecks are pretty much the two, I think, biggest payroll companies. I think legally you can do it yourself, or your accountant would do it. I wouldn't advise it because if you don't realize it, that's why you say that's why some people say they want to pay them under the table. Don't do that. Department of Labor is doing random audits, especially on realtors, because I know realtors love to pay per transaction or under the table, and it's not legal. You're not allowed to do that. You can pay per transaction if the person has an LLC and they're fiscally responsible for claiming things. But the reason why the payroll company do it is when you pay somebody $12 an hour, there's about another $1.50 per hour in taxes between the employee and you that needs to get paid. And you're going to match everything that the employee pays. So you're going to have a couple different withdrawals out of your account. And to me, it's too hard to track and too much to track. You just hire a company to do it. But to answer your question, you would pay that person. You would be responsible for it, but we could help you do it.
but you don't have to incorporate as a company through the state in order to do so.
No,
There's tax benefits to doing it.
I don't. Is that what your accountant told you?
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm my only employee.
Because
What do you have? No.
LLC filing as an S-corp.
But how do you collect income?
All income comes to Keller Williams, and all my income from claims goes into.
But we don't pay an LLC. We got to pay Matt.
Yeah, no, I signed a check over and deposit.
You just deposit into the LLC, and your accountant says that works. That
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we
Alright.
saved, like, 2019 was the first year.
yeah.
Saved a lot of money on self-employment tax. You save money on self-employment
How?
because you're reducing your income.
You trust your
By
accountant?
putting a portion of, I do about 25% of my income through it all.
Okay, I mean, if it works, let me know. Like,
Not all of them.
in
Not all of them.
Delaware, we can pay it LLC, but in
No.
Jersey, it doesn't allow it. You have to be a
No.
person.
No, yeah, but I deposit my income. So,
LLC
works.
never gets 1099, K1s or anything. But I don't know, maybe there's something where you,
I don't know,
Matt,
but it
is
works.
ensuring it's going in there. Because you're right, the self-employment tax is the most expensive
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
Like,
it
because
reduces-
Going back to payroll, when somebody pays social security, the employer matches the social security. Well, when you're
Right.
a self-employed person, there's nobody to match it. So you actually pay more in social security tax than you do in federal tax.
Right, and that's kind of where my question lies is if you have an
IRA benefit. If you lose the ability to do
I
a
don't
seven,
know.
you get paid.
You lost me there, but I don't know how you know, because I know you have to match social security and then we're paying Matt. We 1099 Matt,
That's
you know what I mean, or anybody, John, you know what I mean?
payroll tax is not- That's right. Because you have to K1
Well,
yourself.
either one, if he doesn't do that, he's gotta pay his tax social security
It works out-
anyway.
it works out better.
Who's your accountant? Maybe we can call them.
Yeah,
Very, very great.
Larry Bray? Larry Bray, all right.
Yeah, 'cause-
Seriously, if there's a way to do it.
because that's kind of where my question lies is are we sole proprietors? Are we
Well, what do you mean? Well, right now, you're a person, you're nothing besides, nothing as far as an LLC or corporation or anything like that.
right?
But I mean, there's different, you can set up an LLC, you can set up an S corp. What I am, I'm incorporated. So I have Shawn O'Brien, just Shawn O'Brien Incorporated. It does not Inc. or just Shawn O'Brien, but my accountant created an EIN number for me. And the only thing I think it does is it helps me claim people I pay payroll to. So,
Right.
right? So technically, Shawn O'Brien's social security number doesn't pay the employees, my EIN number does.
Right.
Um,
And so they
I'm not an
technically are
accountant, though, so-
employees
so
of the
check with your accountant.
incorporation.
Right, on the, what the legalities and what's better for taxes and stuff like that. Hopefully sometime in the future, Jersey will allow us to pay LLCs and S corps, and then it'll definitely make a big tax advantage, because Matt's right, it's the social security tax that crushes it.
Right.
I don't know
And
about
if
you, I
they
mean, that's
work a
big.
certain number of hours, they don't
15,000
get
a year.
health care through us, right? So
What's that?
if they work a certain number of hours, they don't get health care through us. So like
Who, you're the employees? Your
yeah, like
employees?
if I hired an admin to do my administrative tasks, and they work 35 hours a week, we don't give them health care, do we?
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. Yeah.
50 FTEs.
Yeah. Yeah. You
have
hear
to
what
be
Alex
big-
said?
You have to be
Yeah,
big
50,
enough.
could you hear Alex when he said that?
Barely.
I got a
Okay, yeah.
big voice, like-
That's right. No, we got this thing to just throw it at you. It's so soft.
Please don't throw it.
That's a microphone.
That's the microphone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can stop. So you can. So you throw it to people and then you talk. You just put it in the middle if you want. That's fine. But it's pretty good. It picks up like pretty far though. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off topic.
Yeah, I
But,
didn't mean to derail. I was just trying to wrap my head around it.
No. That it's a great question. Listen, there's no real, hey, how do you build a team in an hour class? So we just kind of wanted to focus on two different models and then get questions and answers from there. That's what we wanted to do. So what's that? I did actually. Yeah. What?
What does it say, Shawn?
I don't know what it says. Here, catch it, man. Catch this. I got it. Why?
Why?
Oh, man.
What?
Because you just closed a $1.5 million deal.
Yes,
Congratulations. So if you can hear me now, Alex closed a $1.5 million deal today,
Yeah, no.
and he capped in less than 3 months.
77 days.
Wow.
77 days. That's phenomenal. Congratulations, dude.
Wow.
So how'd you get that listing or buyer? Was it listing or buyer?
It's fine.
Buyer?
Yeah. It was somebody I connected with on a internet lead.
Awesome.
from Linwood.
Okay, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So you stayed in touch with him?
Yeah, teams can follow.
Wow, exactly. Games in the follow-up.
So they moved from a Linwood house.
What? Nice. Did they sell the Linwood house?
No, there was no other Linwood house.
They just were looking at a Linwood house. Oh, gotcha, okay. They didn't sell anything, they just bought.
Sure.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. That's incredible. Is that the biggest sale you've ever had?
Yes.
That's
I have it actually, funny enough, an identical, that's 1.55, I have another one at 1.55.
Wow.
The other one that just be like $1 from the contract.
You got it now. Just put the dollar in.
There's $1.
Just put the dollar in.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Congratulations. You don't really see that. You don't, man, that's well, listen. You know, $1 million people. Look at that. That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Well, yeah, so once the 1.5 deal, other deal closed.
Okay, 14.
Nice. And you'll be capped then? Obviously, yeah, you capped in 77 days. So you have 100% of $1.5 million commission.
Yeah.
So you guys can all figure that out at home. So I don't yell it out here. That's awesome. Congratulations. See what this says right here? It says other business. Anybody know what that means or what that's referring to? So like they say like, you know, build a life by design in bold, right? Bold, build a life by design.
Real estate investing.
What's that?
Real estate investing.
Exactly. Who's saying that?
JJ,
JJ?
James.
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Exactly. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So
that's
if you
my
want
thought.
to have several businesses leveraged to the point where you don't need to be in them 40 hours a week, or you may only need to be in them 5 hours a week, it's your choice. Then from there, unless you just want to sit on the beach and collect money, you go into other businesses. Real estate investing, like James said, you know, it could be buy a Sea-Doo wave runner company or rent wave runners. It could be buy a taco joint and you sell tacos, whatever you want it to be. What'd you say yours was? Title, exactly. Title companies. That's well. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Title companies, insurance companies, mortgage companies. That's where we're going, right? Get more ancillary businesses. So it's whatever you want to do. That's what it's referring to. You do not need to predetermine which level you will ultimately achieve. The key is to master the level you are on, and then let that set the foundation for the possibility of moving to the next stage. Trying to skip levels or move too quickly through them may set the stage for burnout or backsliding. Note, if you decide against going to the seventh level, you should master investing. That's a good point. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day who's had a team in the past and gone back and forth from team not team, and that, you know, I think at a certain point in your life, your career, you kind of figure out where you want to be. And I had this one guy in Wilmington say to me, you know what, I make $350,000 a year and I'm happy here. This is where I'm going to live. This is where I'm going to stay. And there is a point at which you get there. So don't feel like everybody's got to get to the 7th level and got to make $1 million. Figure out where it is you're going to be happy at, where it's going to fund the perfect life for you and your family, and then get there. Then if you feel like you got to achieve something else, then go to 7th level just because you want to, just because. Cool. Any questions about that? About the 7th level? Everything I'm showing you is in the red book, literally. However, there are new org charts, new economic models. There's new pretty much everything online on KW.com. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? Because I don't really have, like I said, there's no real class on this, so I want to just see what everybody has any questions on. I can tell you exactly who you need to hire, when you need to hire them, the economic model, how to get there.
Give me your thoughts on virtual assistants. I know we kind of talked a little
Yeah.
about this privately, but virtual assistants, even the Philippines, out of the country.
Sure.
Thoughts on that?
I have one. We have one. We have a listing manager / offer maker, Mark, that's he's from the Philippines, and our ISA is in the Philippines. The ISA, you know, I don't know. I did based, you know, if the economics were the same, you know, in-house or here or out of house or out of the country, I'd prefer maybe here. If I could just see them more, hear them more. As far as a VA being out of the office, like virtual, for certain things like what Mark's doing, I don't mind at all. I think they could do that definitely. Processing, transaction coordinating, I prefer somebody at least that's close by that can, checks or, go to a closing if needed, or just be accessible. I don't think anybody should work 15 hours a day, but like today, Rashana, who's our in-house processor, she's off on Fridays. She only works 4 days a week. And we had a closing that was a problem. Like Mark and them, after they get off, they shut their computer down, their Google number's off. They're not answering 3 hours after they're done. Rashana lives here, and if I call her, once or twice, she'll eventually answer the phone. You know what I mean? So kind of like somebody here, accessible. Alex is laughing at me. I want to be able to get a hold of them in a, not an emergency, but in an urgent, time period. So for certain things, my answer is certain things, I think they need to be here, accessible, in person. And certain things, I don't think they need to be.
No, Mark, what was his job?
Listing manager / offer maker. I don't know. I'd say document preparation. He's document prep. I just kind of make it funny, but he prepares documents, whether it's be addendums, contracts, listing package, and he uploads anything for a listing, MLS, showing time, internet, you name it, and kind of anything in between.
Can I add to that, Shawn?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, our team can't live without Mark, really, because when we travel or we don't have access to the computers, we can, of course, 9 to 5, we can reach out to him like for any showing instructions, or like right now it's like COVID addendums that we have to do before we can go show property. So he takes care of a lot of paperwork for us. So when you said when we do need like an admin, it's really really helpful when you have that person, you're like your right hand, like they can help you with something that you can't get your hands on.
I agree.
So
Totally agree.
Our Mark is like really, he knows all the compliance, he knows all this stuff for the listings, everything in Paragon. So it's a really huge help.
Yes. And Mark's been with us so long now. I mean, he can send at 5:30. So if I text him at 6 or 6:30, he'll probably text me back. But by 8:39, like they're on a computer, shutting it down. So I mean, you gotta can't work remotely. But he's really good. They're really good. But my point is, being somebody in-house is just that you need to get a hold of him for certain things. Transaction coordinating, I don't know if Olga agree or not. Processing, I prefer somebody I can see face to face or very at least close by. You know what I mean? And it might need to be accessed after 5 or on a day off that they have, like this morning. When the mortgage rep, we have this out where the mortgage rep doesn't come to closing, the title company sends a notary. That's it. And if you know these North Jersey title companies, they're used to having attorneys, so they just send a notary, and literally the notary has no idea what the paperwork's about, has no idea how to change it, has no idea how to explain it to the buyer. Then you have a buyer being explained their mortgage package by a notary and the realtor. I mean, luckily, me and the other realtor were good. We could, we knew a lot about it, so we could do it. But yeah, I want to be able to get a hold of Rashana then. Where's the mortgage rep? Where's the number? So that's the only thing I'd say.
And it's also great to meet with a client too, because sometimes clients come drop off paperwork, whatever you need to scan. That helps too. So they can be in the office with the client while you are in a listing appointment or whatever appointment you're on. So that helps a lot too.
Yeah, being in the office, like Rashana or Olga being in the office. Cool. I have to run in a minute. You guys have any other questions? Hope we got something out of it. I'm thinking then we'll do something else like this, but we'll do it more on a team P&L, like a team budget model, basically budget model. Maybe we can touch on lead generation model as well. I mean, you guys know database is where you grow a database, build all around it, because if you don't, Zillow is basically what it is. All right, guys, good at home? Any questions? Thanks, guys.